Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another Friday with your host, me, Red Rooster Guerilla, where we're covering all things OSINT related, international relations, drones, you name it. We're covering the gamut of things I find interesting. So if you like what you're getting, if you like what you hear, don't forget to smash that like button, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. That helps a lot, helps me tickle the algorithms, as they say. Everything helps. So, got a great show for you guys today. But again, thank you for watching. If you stick with me this far, I appreciate all the love and kindness you've shown. Like I said, it's not a lot of editing goes into these, and anything I have to say, pleasure to have someone listen to me. Got some cool events coming up for you guys. Pay attention to. Got Rooster Recon. Again, Rooster Recon September 6th. It's going to be a fun event meant for intro to off-grid communications alumni, but you don't have to be a grad to come join us. Come check us out. It's a free event. We're going to practice some radio skills, put some comms plans into practice, and maybe use some aerial drones for targeting. Real fun exercise. I think you'd love it. So if it sounds interesting to you, go ahead. There's a registration link there. We're just trying to get a good head count so we can plan accordingly. But don't forget, September 6th, we're going to be having some fun right here in San Diego. So come join me. Another event, September 6th and 7th, I got the Escondido Gun Show coming back. So again, I talked about this last week, but this is a great event to pick up some supplies. Like I said, you can get some of those smoke grenades without having to deal with shipping. It's real easy. Also, the ammunition sales were pretty efficient, so not a whole lot of waiting going on there. And just some supplies would be nice to go grab, while you're in town, or just go check out some of the other vendors while you're there. September 6th and 7th, again, the Escondido Gun Show coming up. Those that know me know I like to cover the trainers here in San Diego. We got a plethora, that's a word. Got an enormous amount of schools in the area that can help you get squared away on whatever it is you want to get squared away on. Got pistol classes, carbine classes, you got recon classes, there's tons of stuff. Again, this week's featured trainer is US Overwatch. It's our USO fam right here in San Diego. These guys had basically came in like a tornado and showed everybody trying to be the best premier school here in San Diego. And you look at the attendance, it shows people enjoy what they got. So if you want to check out great classes coming up, USAO has you covered. This week, in fact tomorrow, this is Friday, they're going to be doing their CQC class. Those trainers are awesome. So if you haven't had any force-on-force training, it's a great opportunity to go sharpen your skills, get that accuracy where it counts, and put yourself under that type of pressure, because nothing like training with force-on-force. $300 gets you in the door. It's fun. It's worth every penny. So don't hesitate to sign up. There's some spots left, and you'll enjoy the CQC class that they have going on over. Okay, got some local news here that I found interesting. The new school year, it's going to bring district-wide cell phone bans for all San Diego Unified students. Phones must be turned off and put away through the school day, with limited use allowed only during lunch and passing periods for high schoolers. Previously, phone rules varied by school or teacher. The goal is to reduce distractions, support student focus, and promote better mental. Interesting things happening at the school district. I know a lot of the folks out there would probably agree with this policy that the students need to be off their phones. Parents may get involved. However, a lot of them use their phones for communications with dependents and those with family needs. So it's not always a clear-cut case of just getting rid of the phone. Some people actually need a phone for medical needs. So this will be interesting, and I'm sure we're not going to hear the end of it just yet. Okay, associate professor at UCSD caught looking for underage sex from a minor. Interesting story here, but if those who haven't followed Tim Johnson 458, there's a lot of this. San Diego was no exception. In this case, it was a UCSD professor who there's a whole video here. I'll put it in the description or in the link below. Go ahead, check it out. There's a lot of these cases that are going on, but it just goes to show that no matter where you are, there's going to be folks like this looking to take advantage of your teen. Matt Baker's been popping up and making some noise here lately. If you haven't followed his channel, Matt Baker Unhinged, it's a great channel. I recommend it. But basically covering some local issues here in San Diego as well. So this latest here covers some of the controversy surrounding the San Diego refuse collection policy. For those that don't know, San Diego recently changed its policy from having a free refuse collection policy, which was written into the city's code, to now a paid service stating cost overrun. For the San Diegos that are out there that are affected by this, you'll be receiving a notification in the mail talking about how your trash cans are going to be exchanged for tier services, sizes, and collection times that may vary. I just wanted to talk about some of the topics that I found interesting coming from Matt Baker, Unhinged. Alright, boys, check this out. Officer Bagby reporting for duty, as shown here in the latest Instagram video coming from SDPD. I'd say that, we get a lot of folks on Instagram that love to take those posing shots at the gym of doing some stupid isometric movement with heavy weight. Sure, that's a part of growing and getting bigger muscles, but at the same time, there's also this whole other concept of functional exercise, and I think Officer Bagby is highlighting some of that. Are all females built this way? I wouldn't say that's the case. However, she's definitely making an argument here that she's better than you, and she's probably right. Alright guys, I don't know if you saw this one, but Walmart is taking its convenience to new heights, as they say. Literally. They're rolling out package deliveries via drones now. So this futuristic service aims to cut delivery times, dramatically bringing orders to customers in just minutes instead of hours. The drones are designed to carry lightweight packages over short distances, making them perfect for urgent essentials and small purchases. The initiative reflects Walmart's growing investment in automation and aerial logistics to compete with other retail giants. While still limited to select locations, early trials have shown promising results in speed, safety, and customer satisfaction. For now, the focus is on urban and suburban neighborhoods, with expansion plans on the horizon. If successful, drone delivery could soon become as common as doorstep courier drops, just with a lot more airspace involved. It's interesting because I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in 2015 or so, somewhere in that ballpark, San Diego touted itself, or was boasting that it would be one of the first aerial drone cities, and it was a huge deal, and then all of a sudden we stopped hearing about it. So it's interesting, all of a sudden we're starting to see Walmart get in the game now that I guess all the other previous aerial services that were talked about have gone to the wayside. I don't know if that's a policy thing or a city council thing, but I want aerial drone service. Sometimes I need something really quick, and it's not always there for me. Alright, this one's pretty cool, and this one reminds me of something you'd see in a movie. In fact, I think we saw something close in Mission Impossible, and it was Ghost Protocol. But you remember where they were putting those little munitions in people's brains? Click of a button, somebody would just press it and go boom. Well, we're getting pretty close. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Stinger AI drone-powered machine here now has something similar to that. It's small enough it can dodge obstacles, follows these erratic paths, can lock onto its target with facial recognition. It's got this micro-ammunition, and it's using its location tracking, and it strikes pretty quickly. So it's going to be a drone that's connected to a massive data network, but it's interesting that it will just zoom right up to your forehead and just like a cattle prod in that other movie, No Country for Old Men. So I think we're getting pretty carried away with our drone killing abilities. I don't know. More to follow. This one's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw this one. We got Ruwoo's carbon fiber morphing aerofoil. They say is a game changer in aviation. They might be right. Unlike traditional wings, this adaptive design changes shape mid-flight using ultrasonic motors and the inverse piezoelectric effect, if I said that correctly. Piezoelectric effect. Even in prototype form, it delivers a high lift-to-drag ratio, improving efficiency and aerodynamics. So basically what they're touting is this new airfoil can change its shape mid-air, giving a high lift-to-drag ratio, again, improving fuel economy. So as we evolve into the future, we're seeing more and more efficiencies with current tech. But isn't it interesting that you're seeing these like shape-shifting designs in aerial vehicles? Couple this with something we talked about before with ionic-driven drives. You're talking about some future tech that I think would have been conspiracy many, many years ago. But here we are. Chinese robotics company Unitree has unveiled its latest quadruped robot dog, the A2 Stella. It's a powerful, rugged machine capable of front flips, glass-breaking stunts, and even carrying a 220-pound adult. Equipped with LiDAR and a high-performing CPU and an industrial-grade motor system, it can walk up for 4 hours. No, excuse me, it can walk up to 5 hours and tackle 45-degree angle slope and optionally roll on wheels like built-in rollerblades. That's pretty neat. Though pricing hasn't been announced, it's expected to be more expensive than Unitree's current models, which are anywhere between $5,000 to $12,000. But it's pretty interesting that now you're going to be able to have a little robot dog that you can just jump on, and it can take you all over the place, and then you can use it with its LiDAR to do some mapping. I don't know if you want to do any mapping in your area and map some things, maybe do stuff for science. I don't know, but you can go out and get your robot dog to kickflip soon enough. Lockheed Martin unveils its new unmanned aerial vehicle. I'm assuming its MP stands for multi-purpose. So we have the MP UAV, the multi-purpose unmanned aerial vehicle, launched by Lockheed Martin. This is an interesting one because this is meant to be launched from under the water. So we're talking some submarines. So an Ohio-class submarine would basically embark these, and it would, assuming, go out of VLS tube and be a pretty interesting asset for those maritime surveillance operations we've covered in the past. But I think it's interesting you're seeing tech like this evolve, and the shapes of these things are certainly compelling and, quite frankly, resemble some of the things we've seen on UFO documentaries. Okay, moving on. China revealed its jet propulsion system capable of 12,400 miles per hour. That's pretty crazy. And reportedly can make turns at 90-degree angles. It apparently marks a pivotal moment in aerospace technology, touting global travel and defense strategies as a use for this. But I looked at these, and the video looks kind of, I don't know, it looks fake to me. You tell me. But the videos I'm seeing, just they cut out right when you're about to see the maneuver. I thought it was interesting because it does reflect China's intent to acquire hypersonic missiles, quite possibly to evade aerial defense systems such as like Iron Dome and things like that. So as we continue to see China's involvement in these things, you're looking at towards the intent and design of some of their equipment. Okay, keeping on with tech, Russia presents its Veles-10DR, which is a drone meant to home in on radio frequencies. So I thought that was interesting. That it's basically a strike drone with homing on the source of a radio emission to combat trench electronic warfare. Similar concepts have appeared numerous times as prototypes, yet no fully developed system with proven frontline effectiveness has been documented yet. So this is pretty interesting. So I look at this when you're designing drills or things to train and practice with resource library and order of battle equipment, if you will, that would highlight some of the equipment ranges, capabilities, and things like frequency targeting, so you can practice operating in a permissive or non-permissive environment based on current tech that's out there and being fielded today, which quite frankly is probably already available here in the United States. So I thought that was interesting that there's drones out there directly meant to target frequencies. Okay, keeping on with tech here before we move into the national section. Just wanted to highlight, they had a big showing. It was called Archipelago 2025 as a Russian conference in Skolkovo, Russia. Anyway, they debuted a few things here. One of them was the ground platform drone equipped with waiting drones, which is interesting, but reportedly any drone can be put into hibernation mode and then activated from a single control panel by one operator. And thanks to the hibernation board, drones can reportedly remain in standby mode for many, many days. At the same time, some drones can function as communication relays or carry sensors. It's interesting to me because you're starting to see more multi-drones tailored to a single user, so swarms. So one single unit can now become multiple units tailored to one single operator to control. So as we're starting to see the evolution of things like battle-worn systems, like ATAC embedded systems, mapping software, geospatial tools, all that stuff. And now you're tasking somebody with multiple drones under one control. And we did stuff like this. It was interesting to note that a single drone operator to try to operate not only the sensors but a radio and also relay information from the drone, what they're seeing. It was definitely difficult to do with one single person. So in our case, we had a two-man team, an operator and a sensor operator, who would essentially be, one would be the drone pilot and one would be the map relay resource to the rest of the teammates, so they would be communicating or putting those positions through ATAC to the other stations, and we're able to coordinate very well that way. So in my mind, it took two people to be a drone operating team. So think of it like your battle buddies. You got a drone operator and then a sensor operator operating as one single drone unit. So now we're starting to see nation-state development on multi-drones tailored to a single operator. So I find that stuff fascinating because it will change the evolution of tactics. Okay, moving into our national section. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but it's been making the rounds here lately. But the U.S. Army stated that airmen and soldiers with the District of Columbia National Guard will begin to deploy in D.C. this week. They won't be carrying weapons, though they'll have access to them at all times, adding that guardsmen will work in shifts of 200 to ensure around-the-clock presence throughout the nation's capital. So I bring this up because it's always interesting whenever you see a federal response here at a local level, and it begs the question of like whether or not whatever party's in office at the time, but as you start to see the evolution of response measures with with the federal government, especially at the local level, these are things to take note of because maybe the party of your choice today, but then you'll see overreach in a future event using the same tools employed here for whatever purposes. So all that to say is that be objective when you're looking at federal response to things that may or may not warrant them. It's hard to say whether DC warrants a federal response to the level of a National Guard. I'm not in DC. However, if a National Guard unit had to get deployed to San Diego, these are things I'd be paying attention to, and I would start, doing some active information gathering to see like what that response looks like. U.S. Marines with Advanced Infantry Training Battalion, School of Infantry East, executed a combined arms live firing training event involving the employment of small unmanned aircraft systems to deliver munitions on designated targets at Camp Lejeune. The event marked the first time munitions were employed from a small UAS during a live fire training exercise on Camp Lejeune, demonstrating the capability of integrating aerial strike capabilities at the technical level. The event marked the first time munitions were employed from a small UAS during a live fire training exercise on Camp Lejeune, demonstrating the capability of integrating aerial strike capabilities at the tactical level. So again, as you start to see the employment of first-person view drone use, FPV drone, and integration into small units like this, tactics are evolving to where decades and decades of GWAT tactics that were developed with IEDs in mind are now being reshaped to counter UAS from the air, quite possibly ground drones. But you're seeing that units are shaping their force around this new threat. We saw the same thing in the early days of the global war on terror with IEDs. Tactics shifted, evolved, and you started to see a different version of, Marine platoons and Army platoon shapes and sizes, 9 versus the 13 and so on. So I thought that was interesting. Other big news going on this week, I know you guys are tracking this. Trump and Putin are set to meet in Anchorage as we speak. So a lot of events leading up to this. You saw Ukraine and Russia really just hammering it out, which you tend to see before negotiations take place in peace talks. One side will just lobby and salvo all their missiles over, while the other side does the same in response. All this to get their last licks in before a peace deal is reached. So this could signify major developments in the war in Ukraine and Russia. So more to follow, and hopefully we'll have some news out of today that may shape how the war in Ukraine and Eastern Europe develops. So interesting things there. This one is interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but we got fighting robots now. We got Fight Club for robots. Check this out. In San Francisco, custom-built robots battled in an underground steel cage competition. The competition drew engineers, hobbyists, and curious spectators, with robots of all shapes and sizes designed to slam, flip, and outlast their opponents in tense, fast-paced matches. These events, often organized by local robotics communities, create a space for creativity, engineering skill, and love for spectacle collide in an electrifying display of mechanical combat. So I thought that was interesting. We got robot leagues popping up, taking over the fighting game. UFC, watch out, robots are coming to take over the game. Dana White, better listen up. You might want to pick up this league. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me here. But again, if you like what you're getting in this channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you want to hear about. We're doing this every Friday, where you get to hear all the latest and greatest in OSINT related topics. We're covering drones, drone development, and again, we got events coming up. September 6th, come join us. We got Rooster Recon. We're going to be doing some radio drills. We're going to be practicing with our comms plans. We're going to be doing some targeting, testing out these concepts you're seeing the U.S. military and, frankly, foreign militaries continue to evolve daily. So if you like drones, if you like radio, come join us. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff out there September 6th and other events here in the future. So again, just want to say thank you again for sticking along with me this far, and hopefully we can get some more subscribers and channel content that you want to hear most. But again, that's going to do it for me, guys. Again, love your cats, love your dogs, pet your birds. Again, we're going to be doing this every Friday, and I hope to see you next Friday. Love ya. This is Rooster out. I'm done, dude. Smoked.